we say you, we mean all of you, including the little ones. We're all about ensuring you feel better and healthier, so you enjoy every moment with the ones closest to you. A smile on your face is what we're about. That's why you'll always be welcome back to Good Life pharmacies across Kenya with the same smile on every visit. Good Life. We're all about you.
Raphael, I promise you I'm going to find that woman. The woman that rejected you and made you a fool. I'm sure that this woman is going to suffer in her own body what she made you do.
He said that he loved me, and for me he can do anything, Mom. Anything.
As you can see, everything was just a lie, my sweetie.
Your mother told me what happened and I want to be with you. Roberta, please open the door.
He died because of the betrayal of La Bonita.
We will never know why that happened.
No, you're wrong, Father. Sorry.
Get your value-added plot today by cash or through our installment plan. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Optiven Limited, the pacesetters in real estate.
For an exclusive fragrance experience, try Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion with a long-lasting woody fragrance, deep moisture, and a fresh skin feel. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact. Nivea Men, it starts with you.
This is NTV.
Na marhaba mpenzi mtazamaji popote ulipo, ni Jumatatu nyingine tena njema, teule na tulivu tunapokutana kwenye meza ya NTV jioni. Bila shaka kama ni siku ya Jumatatu tuna mengi ambayo tumekuandalia. Kuna kile kitengo chetu cha daftari la lugha, unakifahamu au unakijua Kiswahili. Pamoja na hayo tuna matukio mengine madal basar. Tuanze kwa vipasho vya siku.
BBI has a lot of gain for us as pastoralist communities.
We have resolved to support BBI in totality.
Magavana wa kongamana kujadili ripoti ya BBI mjini Naivasha, huku viongozi wa jamii za wafugaji wakikubali pitisho ilivyo.
Zile mbao zilikuwa hazifuati sheria, hatutazirudishia license tena.
Zaidi ya watu 30 wasukumwa jela kwa kukaidi maagizo ya kudhibiti corona.
If you are doing oversight, you are doing representation, you are doing legislation, kwani hiyo yote unafanya kama kuna kitu kwa kichwa?
Madiwani wapata tumbo joto baada ya kugutuka kuwa sheria inayowalazimu kuwa na degree ili kuwania nyadhifa zao sasa imeanza kutumika.
Kitanda usijolala si chako.
Na je, unakifahamu au unakielewa Kiswahili? Jipime ujuzi wako kwenye makala yetu ya kila Jumatatu ya daftari la lugha.
Mbashara kutoka jumba la Nation. Hii ni NTV Jioni na Salim Swaleh.
Na mshukrani kwa kuichagua na kuienzi NTV Jioni. Bila shaka mtazamaji anayetusaidia katika lugha ishara upande wa pili wa studio ni Flora Atieno. Wanasema kitanda usichokilala, jamaa anasema si chako. Tunapatikana vile vile mubashara katika mitandao yetu yote ya kijamii @NTV Kenya, au zungumza na mimi basi moja kwa moja @Salim Swaleh 001. Zaidi ya watu 60 wamekamatwa katika maeneo tofauti nchini, huku wengine 38 wakisukumwa jela kwa kukiuka sheria za kudhibiti COVID-19. Haya yametokea katika miji mbalimbali ikiwemo mji wa Embu. Taarifa hiyo anayo Helen Aura ambaye analikunjua jamvi la NTV jioni.
Ilikuwa ni kama mchezo wa paka na panya katika kaunti ya Murang'a, huku wengi wakijaribu kuepuka mkono wa sheria wakati maafisa wa polisi na maafisa wa kaunti walipowavamia waliokiuka sheria za COVID-19. Watu 23 walikamatwa huku baa 3 zikifungwa.
Na zile mbaa zilikuwa hazifuati sheria, hatutazirudishia license tena. Na wale watu tumeshika pia tutawapeleka kotini ili mkono wa sheria uweze kufanya kazi yake.
Haya yanajiri huku visa vya COVID-19 vikiendelea kuongezeka nchini. Wakazi wa Murang'a wameonekana kutovalia barakoa. Waliokamatwa walipelekwa katika kituo cha polisi cha Murang'a. Katika kaunti ya Kiambu mambo yalikuwa yaho hayo, huku watu 38 wakijipata pabaya. Walikamatwa na maafisa wa polisi kwa kukiuka kanuni za kudhibiti maambukizi ya COVID-19, miongoni mwao akiwemo mama aliye na mtoto wa chini ya mwaka mmoja. Waliokamatwa walifikishwa mbele ya hakimu mkazi Oscar Wanyaga mjini Thika, kaunti ya Kiambu, ambapo walitozwa faini ya shilingi 5,000 ama kifungo cha miezi 3 jela. Hata hivyo, mama huyo aliye na mtoto wa chini ya mwaka mmoja, Susan Wamboi, aliachiliwa na mahakama ingawa alipewa onyo kali. Na huko Embu zaidi ya wakazi 100 walikamatwa kwa kukosa barakoa au kuwa nje kwa muda wa kafyu. Mwisho wa siku waliokamatwa waliachiliwa huku wakikanywa dhidi ya kuendeleza mapuuza ya sheria.
Leo tumewasamehe. Mara nyingine mkirudia bila kuvaa mask tutahakikisha tumeyafikisha kotini na utachajiwa 20,000.
Helen Aura, NTV.
Tukisalia katika masuala hayo ya COVID-19, mwakilishi wa wadi ya Health Gate iliyo katika kaunti ya Nakuru, John Juguna, amefariki leo katika hospitali ya Nakuru Nursing Home kwa kile kinachodaiwa kuwa ni kuugua corona. Juguna aliugua siku ya Ijumaa wiki iliyopita na kulazwa katika chumba cha wagonjwa mahututi kabla ya kufariki mchana wa leo. Kifo chake kinatokea siku chache baada ya bunge la kaunti Nakuru kusitisha vikao vyake kufuatia maambukizi ya corona kwa baadhi ya wafanyakazi wake. Haya yanajiri huku Kenya ikiwa imerekodi visa 756 vipya vya maambukizi ya corona kwa saa 24 zilizopita. Baadhi ya madiwani nchini wana wasiwasi mkubwa baada ya kugutuka kwamba tayari sheria inawalazimu au inamlazimu yoyote anayetaka kuwania udiwani au bunge nchini kuwa na shahada ya degree kwamba imeanza kutekelezwa. Chama cha kitaifa cha MCA au ni jukwaa la kitaifa la MCA sasa kinapanga kwenda mahakamani kwa ajili ya kuwasilisha malalamishi rasmi kupinga sheria hiyo.
Sheria hiyo imewagawanya madiwani katika makundi mawili, huku wataalamu wa masuala ya siasa na uongozi wanakubaliana na sheria hiyo, wakishikilia kuwa ndio njia bora zaidi kuweka nidhamu katika mabunge ya kaunti ambayo sarakasi za kila aina zimekuwa zikishuhudiwa.
Much as I know that for us to strengthen the county assemblies, because it is also an institution where a number of things normally take place, representation, legislation, oversight as their key roles, there is need to have certain standards set for the members of the county assembly.
Kwa mujibu wa sheria ya uchaguzi ya mwaka 2012, ni sharti kwa yeyote anayetaka kuwania wadhifa wa ubunge katika bunge la taifa au kaunti kuwa na degree.
Kama kawaida, uongozi haitokani na masomo. Masomo inasaidia kwa upande kama for example meetings.
Sheria hii imeahirishwa mara kadhaa, huku wanaopendekeza kwamba iweze kutumika wanasema ianze kutumika mwaka 2022, lakini kwa wale ambao wataathirika pakubwa wanaona kama kwamba hii ni njia moja kukandamiza azma zao za uongozi.
Hata mambo ya degrees haitasaidia na wala haina tofauti wote, lakini tuko na wale ambao pia wako na masomo ya kadri. For example, wamefika form 4, wengine wako na post secondary, wengine wako na diplomas, lakini ukipeana nafasi ya representation katika Hansas utakuta ya kwamba hao wameperform vizuri sana kuliko wale ambao wako na degrees.
Wasichana kwanza hawakuwa wanaenda shule. Wasichana wengi walikuwa wanakaa tu nyumbani. Wachache ndio wamesoma. Ni ngumu sana tena kwa kudebate kwa house inakuwa challenge kubwa tena kama tena una masomo.
For example, a document like budget document. But if you don't have the basic requirements, it will be hard for you to interact with that document.
We should be degree holders, because somebody with a capacity can represent people, can do the legal or the legislative function within the assembly.
Magavana ambao ni sharti wawe na degree kabla ya kuwania wadhifa huo wana mitazamo mkinzano kuhusu swala hili.
You are doing representation, you are doing legislation. Kwani hiyo yote unafanya kama kuna kitu kwa kichwa?
Even cook must have a qualification.
I don't think we need to prescribe minimum qualifications of the members of County Assembly.
It will not be fair to ask that MCAs also have degrees. For me, I would say maybe a diploma would be sufficient.
Leila Mohamed, NTV.
Na mshukran sana Leila Mohamed. Tukisonga mbele mtazamaji, kumeshuhudiwa kioja katika mji wa Kitale baada ya wahudumu wa matatu kuanza kuegesha magari yao katika kituo chao kipya kabla hata hakijafunguliwa rasmi. Wakati huo huo, wakazi wa Mavoko na Kajiado wamepinga hatua ya serikali kuipa mbuga ya wanyama pori ya Nairobi ardhi zaidi, wakidai kwamba sehemu ya ardhi hiyo ni yao. Kaltun Jama na hayo na mengine zaidi katika mkusanyiko wa matukio majimboni.
Siku chache baada ya Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kutoa hati miliki kwa mbuga wa wanyama ya Nairobi kuongeza shamba la mbuga hiyo kutoka ekari 29,000 hadi 31,000, viongozi na wakazi eneo hilo wamejitokeza kupinga hatua hiyo, wakidai hawakuhusishwa kabla uamuzi huo. Kwa mujibu wa gavana wa kaunti ya Kajiado na viongozi wengine wa jamii zinazoishi Mavoko na Kajiado, ardhi hiyo ya ziada ya ekari 2 ambayo imejumuishwa katika mbuga ya Nairobi ilikuwa inatunzwa na wakazi na walifaa kuhusishwa. Sasa wanataka wakazi hao kulipwa fidia kwa ardhi hiyo. Wahudumu wa magari ya uchukuzi ya umma mjini Kitale leo waliegesha magari yao katika kituo kipya cha kuegesha magari kilichojengwa na serikali ya kaunti hiyo, licha ya kuwa bado hakijafunguliwa rasmi kutumika na umma. Kwa mujibu wa wahudumu hao, licha ujenzi wa kituo hicho cha mabasi mwaka uliopita, serikali ya kaunti imechelewa kukifungua, hali ambayo wanasema imechangia msongamano mkubwa wa magari mjini Kitale. Wafanyi biashara na wachuzi katika eneo la Uthiru, kaunti ya Kiambu, wanakadiria hasara kubwa baada ya duka zao kubomolewa kwa madai kuwa vibanda vyao vilikuwa vimejengwa katika ardhi inayomilikiwa na mtu binafsi. Wakazi na wafanyabiashara hao wanadai wamekuwa kizozana kwa muda na mwekezaji huyo wa kibinafsi, huku wakidai anawanyanyasa kwa kuwa anawahusisha karibu na viongozi wakuu serikalini. Katika kaunti ya Pokot Magharibi, chifu wa kata ya Weiwei ametia fora miongoni mwa wakazi wa eneo hilo kutokana na jitihada zake kuhamasisha wakazi kujikinga kutokana na maambukizi ya COVID-19. Licha kuwa wakazi wengi eneo hilo wanapuuza maagizo, chifu huyo Matayo Rono anawaelimisha kuhusu umuhimu wa kinga badala ya tiba. Na katika eneo la Kiamagumo huko Gishugu, kaunti ya Kirinyaga, kundi la vijana limejitokeza na kukusanya fedha ili kuwasaidia wasiobahatika katika jamii kama vile walemavu na wazee. Vijana hao wa kundi la Ngariama sasa wanaitaka serikali ya kaunti na wahisani wengine kuungana kusaidia wanapokabiliwa na uhaba wa chakula, haswa katika msimu huu wa COVID-19. Kaltun Jama, NTV.
Na asante sana Kaltun Jama. Mtazamaji, kama ndio kwanza unafungulia runinga yako na kujiunga nasi, unatazama NTV Jioni, bila shaka tunataka tupate mapumziko mafupi, lakini tukirudi kuna sehemu yako ya daftari la lugha. Leo tumekutaka utukamilishie methali kitanda usichokilalia -- unasema nasi kupitia mitandao yetu yote ya kijamii @NTV Kenya, @Salim Swaleh 001, #ni NTV Jioni.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh. Down is no boom boom pow, down is boom boom pow. Smell fire na uchafuzi na zibi na improve downy. Protect nguo zangu na nukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na down is boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, down is no boom bob tu.
Wataipenda, ataipenda, and them, pia yeye na hao pia, kila mtu ataipenda. Pata kila kitu upendacho kwa M-Pesa kupitia star 334#. Kwa kuweka kila kitu kwa namba moja, tumerahisisha mambo ili uweze kuendelea kufanya vitu unavyopenda ukitumia M-Pesa.
Mkate kweli ni selector, ukikula kwanza na kachai. Tunasema mkate gani tamu zaidi, wenye afya tele tena tosaidi, bei yake bado ni ile ile nafuu, unapatikana karibu na wewe. Selector, mkate ni selector.
Epuka giza sasa na mshumaa wa Sumo. Mshumaa wa Sumo umetengenezwa kwa bidhaa bora zaidi na unakufaa wakati wote. Kila mara unapowaza kuhusu mwangaza katika nyumba yako, waza mshumaa wa Sumo. Unachomeka polepole bila kumwagika na hauishi haraka, hauna moshi wala harufu. Jipatie mshumaa wa Sumo katika duka lililo karibu nawe kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi, tembelea afisi zetu katika barabara ya Ndume Road, mkabala na Lungalunga Road, nyuma ya Carton Manufacturer, karibu na steji ya matatu ya Sinai. Unaweza pia wasiliana nasi kupitia 0722575619 au 0736028181. Ni mshumaa wa Sumo Kando kutoka Rock Industries Limited.
Hello, Susan. Yes, you. Holding that pack. I know you've been avoiding me because in the past I've made you uncomfortable. Maybe even caused you pain. But I want you to know that I have changed. For you.
Hey, what is this?
You can love me again if you're willing to give me another chance. Meet me at aisle 4. Hey, Susan.
It's lactose free.
know you love milk, and now there is milk that loves you. With Gold Crown lactose-free milk, you can enjoy the richness of natural cow's milk without any of the digestion discomfort. Gold Crown lactose-free, milk that loves you.
So vile nasema, wacha nikubatie statistics. Niko na gamia 1,500. Tunakuwa drapo gamia na kuwa 6,000. 2,000 natengeneza leather, natengeneza viatu, wallet, kibeti, nauza hapa, na batia wewe 50%. Wacha niweke credit nikupigie.
Namna gani wewe? Hii mambo ya kuishiwa na credit kila saa. Come on. Nunua hiyo simu ya Vodafone. Calling fiber to fiber is 0 shillings per minute. And it is not expensive. Only 2,999 Kenya shillings.
Alo hali wa. Hata fadhali hiyo credit ikae ninunue simu basi.
Faibika leo na Vodafone for only 2,999 Kenya shillings. It will always be free to call fiber to fiber.
Answer's here. Wow, what a nice gift. I would definitely give this next time.
Cousins Baby Gift Pack, a carefully selected range of safe baby products with natural goodness, trusted for decades by millions of moms across Africa. Cousins Baby, the gift that keeps on giving.
Raphael, I promise you, I'm going to find that woman. The woman that rejected you and made you a fool. I'm sure that this woman is going to suffer in her own body what she made you do.
He said that he loved me, and for me he can do anything, Mom. Anything. As you can see, everything was just a lie, my sweetie.
Your mother told me what happened, and I want to be with you. Roberta, please open the door.
He died because of the betrayal of La Bonita.
We will never know why that happened.
No, you're wrong, Father. Sorry.
Get your value-added plots today by cash or through our installment plan. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Optiven Limited, the pacesetters in real estate.
Karibu tena mtazamaji katika NTV Jioni, tukiendelea na taarifa zetu. Magavana wamekongamana katika mji wa Naivasha, kaunti ya Nakuru, ambapo wanajadili namna ya utekelezaji wa ripoti ya BBI. Rais Uhuru Kenyatta pamoja na kinara wa ODM Raila Odinga wanatarajiwa kuwazungumzia magavana hapo kesho. Lakini awali kinara wa ODM Raila Odinga alikuwa amekutana na viongozi kutoka jamii za wafugaji na kuwasihi kuunga mkono ripoti ya BBI kama ilivyo, jambo ambalo viongozi hao walikubaliana nayo.
We as pastoralists, we have raised issues, and those issues will be taken on board. And again, BBI has a lot of gain for us as pastoralist communities. We cannot, as pastoralists, oppose BBI. We must be on board. We are in government. We must sit on the table and discuss and eye on those issues the same way other communities in this country are discussing those issues. So there will be no sideshows. If it is a matter of politics, 2022 will come.
The issues that affect the party, there's no doubt about that. But we have resolved unanimously to support BBI and raise our issues on the table, not outside the table, as some did in 1962.
In conformity with the deliberations that we've had this morning and before, we want to confirm that we have a big stake in the current discourse, constitutional discourse that is ongoing, and we have resolved to support BBI in totality.
There is quite an agreement over many issues here. The issues that they have raised today, the issue of revenue sharing, then the issue of equalization fund, the issue of livestock marketing authority. As you know, livestock is the mainstay of the economy of this region of our country. And we say that some of those issues can and will be taken on board. And they have appointed a representative, 3 representatives from here who will actually sit down with the technical team to iron out some of those issues.
Na tukiachana na hayo, shirika la kimataifa la Amnesty International linataka serikali ya Kenya kutomsalimisha mbunge wa zamani wa eneo bunge la Arusha mjini Godbless Lema aliyekamatwa humu nchini hapo jana akikimbilia usalama wake pamoja na familia yake. Kwa mujibu wa Lema, alitoroka Tanzania kufuatia msururu wa kamata ya viongozi wa upinzani na serikali kutokana na msimamo wao wa kupinga ushindi wa Rais Pombe Magufuli katika uchaguzi mkuu uliopita nchini humo. Lema anadai kwamba alitishiwa maisha na alipoachiliwa na polisi, Tanzania aliamua kukimbilia Kenya kuomba hifadhi. Wakili wake anashikilia kuwa shirika la Umoja wa Mataifa la kulinda wakimbizi UNHCR na serikali ya Kenya zinafaa kumlinda Lema pamoja na familia yake.
How do you arrest somebody who has given himself up and saying, here I am, I'm running away from persecution, please save me. You arrest the person with his family saying that amepita kwa mpaka because hakuonyesha kitambulisho. Tumeambiwa na serikali ya Tanzania, wewe ni nani? Tanzania ni serikali yao ni nini kwa Kenya? Ulipataje uwezo wa kuambiwa na serikali ya Tanzania? Hiyo ingeenda through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Kwa hivyo that policeman, whoever he is, he should go home.
Nimerealize kwamba ninafuatiliwa na kuna mipango mibaya juu yangu. Niliamua kuondoka nyumbani kuja huku. Na nilisema siwezi kuondoka nikaacha familia nyuma. Kwa niko na mke na watoto wangu 3, wao tayari wako Nairobi kwa ajili ya kuprocess masuala ya msingi ya kutafuta amani yao.
Naam, sasa tuingie katika daftari la lugha. Mtazamaji, tulikuwa tumekuomba tukamilishie methali kitanda usichokilala au kitanda usichokilalia ... Tusikie Wakenya katika maeneo mbalimbali humu nchini wana yapi ya kusema katika sehemu hiyo.
Kitanda usicholala si chako. Kitanda usichokilala
oja naye.
Kitanda usichokilala. Uwezi ongea juu ya kenye uelewi.
Kitanda usichokilala,
ujui kunguni wake.
Kitanda usichokilalia,
ujui chini yake.
Kitanda usichokilala.
Sini kitanda yako ile unalala kila siku. Ama kitanda gani?
Kitanda usichokilalia,
haujui kunguni mwake.
Kitanda usichokilalia,
usilalie.
Kitanda usichokilala, hawezi kusikia ukunguni mwenye ako ndani yake.
Kitanda usichokilalia,
si yako.
Kitanda usichokilalia,
ukijui kunguni wake.
Mtazamaji, baadaye kabla hatujamaliza matangazo yetu hapa tutakupa majibu na maana yake kitanda usichokilala ... Kuna huyu hapa Salim Buher kutoka Malindi anasema kitanda usichokilala huwajui kunguni wake. Kuna huyu Anthony Ndwiga anasema kitanda usichokilala achana nacho. Kuna huyu mwingine nani hapa Vicky anasema kitanda usichokilala pelekea wagonjwa wa COVID-19. Huyu mwingine anasema kitanda usichokilala si chako, na wengine wanaendelea kuzungumza hapo @Salim Swaleh 001 @NTV Jioni @NTV Kenya #ni NTV Jioni. Siondoke hapo ulipo, nitarudi na mengi zaidi, na tayari namuona Yoshua Makore ameshajaja studioni kuletea mengi katika ulingo wa sport.
Leo Safaricom wanasherehekea miaka 20 na wewe. Piga *444*20#. Tumia shilingi 20 pekee utunukiwe 20 minutes na 20 MB.
Miaka 20 safari ilianza ya kutuunganisha kama Wakenya. Twende tukiuke, twende tukiuke. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Let's go beyond. Mimi na wewe tukibuni kazi nzuri ya kujivunia. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Kwa juhudi na matumaini twaelekea kesho pamoja. Twende tukiuke, twende tukiuke. Safaricom.
Mkate kweli ni selector, ukikula kwanza na kachai. Tunasema mkate gani tamu zaidi, wenye afya tele tena tosaidi. Bei yake bado ni ile ile nafuu, na unapatikana karibu na wewe. Selector, mkate ni selector.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Light it up, dynamite. Shining through
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
Helen Paul.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I've been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic's thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
Karibu, Mom. Let me take care of your hands.
Kwa sababu ni muhimu kutunza mikono ya mama, Omo ina chembe asili ya kutunza mikono ya mama anapofua. Omo, nguvu ya kutoa madoa sugu, kutunza mikono.
How much?
Hii ni so.
Hii ni 20 bob na hii ni so na zote ni the same size.
While other networks discriminate, sisi hatubagui, tuna serve everybody. Get to Bonga 10 and enjoy 100 minutes Airtel to Airtel. Dial *544#. Not just for a few, but for every one of you. Airtel, the honest network.
Mida ya kudunda sasa viwanjani haraka upesi ni Tayosho Makori. Timu ya taifa kandanda Harambee Stars imeimarisha mazoezi yake tayari kupambana na Comoros kesho kutwa uwanjani Kasarani katika mechi ya kufuzu dimba la mataifa Afrika nchini Kamerun mwaka 2022. Wachezaji wanaosakata kandanda ya kulipwa ugaibuni walioitwa na kocha mkuu Jacob August Mle tayari wamo kambini, huku Anthony Akomu, Johano Molo na nahodha Victor Mugubi Wanyama wakitarajiwa kambini wakati wowote. Mshambulizi tegemeo Michael Engineer Lunga hatoichezea Stars kwa sababu ya janga la homa ya corona kuivuruga klabu yake akashiwa Rais Oli ya Japan. Hata hivyo, nafasi ya Engineer imetwaliwa na John Mark Makwata wa Zesco United ya Zambia. Kocha wa Shabana FC Vincent Nyaberi ameelezea imani yake ya kunyakua taji la ligi ya Super msimu wa mwaka 2020-2021 na kupanda kushiriki ligi kuu ya FKF mwaka 2021-2022. Tusikie alisema nini.
Matarajio yangu ni ile nataka nitoe Shabana penye iko sahihi NSL icheze KPL. Janga la corona wacha niseme limeaffect wachezaji wengi sana. Hata officials pia. Kwa hivyo ile ningeomba juu sahihi ukiangalia sahihi. Wacha niseme hiyo kavu imeanza kufraten sahihi. Ningeomba kama serikali ingekubali sahihi watu turudi tucheze na hizo conditions zenye watakuwa wanatuwekea. Game ichezwe.
Katika anga ya mataifa ni kwamba bwanyenye na bilionea wa Afrika Kusini Patrice Motsepe atawania urais wa shirikisho la kandanda barani Afrika CAF katika uchaguzi mkuu wa mnamo Machi mwaka ujao. Motsepe ambaye anamiliki miamba na mabingwa wa Afrika Kusini Mamelodi Sundowns ambao wamekuwa miongoni mwa klabu 10 bora barani Afrika kwa miaka kadhaa atapambana na rais wa sasa Ahmadi, raia wa Madagascar na Jacques Anouma wa Ivory Coast. Moja kwa moja hadi England na ni kwamba kocha wa Arsenal Mikel Arteta amekiri kwamba timu yake ilikosa mwelekeo jana usiku ilipocharazwa mabao 3-0 na Aston Villa katika mechi ya kuwania ubingwa ligi kuu ya kandanda ya England uwanjani Emirates. Bukayo Saka wanakutumia kama mwavuli, yani wakati kunanyesha tu ndo wanakuhitaji. Usiku mwanana tuonane Jumatano, Alhamisi, Jumatano. Kwa heri.
Na asante sana Yoshua Makori. Bila shaka mtazamaji, nimekuja upande huu wa pili kwa ajili ya kufunga kabisa, lakini kabla ya kufanya hivyo nitende haki. Tulikuwa tumekuuliza utukamilishie methali yetu katika daftari la lugha, kwa kitanda usichokilalia au kitanda usichokilala. Na naona hapa kwa haraka haraka, huyu hapa Cecilia anasema huwajui kunguni au hujui mvunguni mwake. Huyu anasema hapa ni nani, imetoweka hiyo. Ras Bashir Wera anasema anatazama akiwa Jesus ni Busia huko. Anasema kitanda usichokilala hujui kunguni wake. Kuna huyu hapa amesema msiponitaja siangalii NTV tena. Kitanda usichokilala. Ivan Moguso anasema usichokilala hujui kunguni wake, na mnisome tumesha kusoma. Basi sasa tupate jibu kamili katika runinga yako. Jibu lenyewe ndilo hilo hapo. Kitanda usichokilala hujui kunguni wake, na maana yake bila shaka mtazamaji, ni vigumu sana kufahamu matatizo ambayo anapitia mtu kama matatizo yenyewe hayaja kufika. Kwa namna hiyo basi, mtu anapokuja kukuelezea matatizo yake, usimpuuzilie mbali, kwa sababu hujui uzito wa matatizo anayopitia. Kwa niaba ya wale wote walioshiriki kufanikisha NTV Jumatatu hii, akiwemo mwenzangu wa lugha ishara Flora Atieno na mwenzangu wa spoti Yoshua Makori, mimi ni Salim Swaleh, na kutakia usiku mtulivu. Kwa heri kwa sasa.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
The retail of petroleum products. How has COVID-19 impacted the market?
The inventory cycle for us is about 1.5 to 2 months. So when COVID struck, we were holding inventory, and therefore when the demand declined, we ended up with the high-cost product.
How is the evolving competitive landscape affecting businesses?
We have very strong mainstream players. We have a number of the mid and low tier players who are really flexing their muscle.
In the next edition of Business Redefined, we host the General Manager of Ola Kenya to discuss the retail of petroleum products.
We are Nation, Africa's independent media brand. We are committed to empowering all Africans, from the young to the old, from the curious to the educated, and from the heart of the cities to the rural areas. We are Nation. Join us, because if you want to get far, you do it together. Nation. Empower Africa.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated GE. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello and welcome to Nighttime Tales with me, Grace Kirapa. Today we're reading the book Little Ant's Big Plan. This book was written by Candice Dingwall and illustrated by Stephen McKimmey. Little Ant loved to read. Little Ant was often teased. Ants don't read. Ants must feed. Ants collect the food they need. Little Ant would read all day. He'd read and read and read the day away. The other ants took what they found to store for winter underground, and his mom and dad got really mad, and Little Ant felt really sad. In autumn, when the leaves fall down, the ants must keep food underground, and the queen wants food to fill the store, so all the ants must work some more. Little Ant begins to shout about a place he read about. A restaurant! is what we need. A place where people go to feed. It says so in the books I read. And the ants go marching one by one. They march into the setting sun. And little ant says, "Hey, there's one." And the ants go marching one by one, carrying a burger and carrying a bun. And when they return, the queen is glad. The stores are full and they cheer like mad. Ant gets his hugs from mom and dad. And his little baby sister takes his hand. Now I think I understand. The way you love to read a book makes me want to take a look. And that is the end of our story. And the lesson we learned is that it's important to read. And you know what? When we keep reading, the more we learn about the world. Thank you so much for staying with us, and I hope to see you next time. And so, have a good night, and bye-bye.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
I wish I could have soft and glowing skin.
New Geisha Black Soap with activated charcoal to give you soft and glowing skin. New Geisha Black Soap and New Geisha Moringa.
How much?
Hii ni so.
Hii ni 20 bob na hii ni so na zote ni the same size.
While other networks discriminate, sisi hatubagui, tuna serve everybody. Get to Bonga 10 and enjoy 100 minutes Airtel to Airtel. Dial star 544 hash. Not just for a few, but for every one of you. Airtel, the honest network.
In Kenya, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Brushing with Pepsodent removes bacteria and repairs tiny holes before they become cavities. Because every smile matters.
Fun and food got together beautifully at GMC Place. Enjoy our succulent meals in a serene setting with a varied choice of fun games for the little ones. Cup it up with a cuppa or a cocktail, all available to your taste. Discover the joy of a warm pool by diving into the Blue Oasis heated pool. Or at GMC Place, the fun never ends. Make your reservation today on 0701 560 560.
Istiqbal is now in Kenya. We are the voice for quality, colorful, innovative, and functional home furniture with presence in 92 countries worldwide. We have it all. Sofas, beds, dining, and mattresses. Celebrate our end-year sale of 50% off. Yes, everything at half price from 2nd November to 31st December. Visit our showroom at Panasar Center, Mombasa Road, opposite Airtel.
I wish I could have soft and glowing skin.
New Geisha Black Soap with activated charcoal to give you soft and glowing skin. New Geisha Black Soap and New Geisha Moringa.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Top Story has become the most competitive, entertaining show on television. A team of 3 from 25 universities, driven by the need to produce the top story. The winners of Top Story Season 3 will have a 1-week sponsored study tour to Al Jazeera in Qatar. Previously on Top Story.
We were born perfect. No need for mutilation.
Anything that touches on culture
is really, really sensitive.
Welcome to Top Story Season 3. My name is Joseph Warungo. I'm the principal of the Top Story Academy. And as you know, Top Story is a national mentorship program for young journalists in Kenya. It's an opportunity for these students who aspire to be the next best storytellers in this country and beyond to interact with people who have years of experience in the industry. Now, we started this competition with 25 universities, and they've fought all the way to the final 4 who are now fighting it out for the top prize, which is a week's fully sponsored trip to Al Jazeera in Doha, Qatar. So today we brought the 4 finalists at Moi University, Tangaza University College, as well as Multimedia University and Technical University of Mombasa for the final blessing from people who've been in the industry for a number of years, are experienced in the field, to share their tips with these students before they are off to cover their stories. Who will the winner be? Well, this is an opportunity to set the stage for that. Now, today we have with us a couple of really highly experienced journalist professionals as well as mentors. First of all, we have Christine Nguku, who is, I would call her also a veteran journalist. We also have Professor George Nyabuga from the School of Journalism at the University of Nairobi. He is an experienced practitioner, was a former editor, still hasn't lost touch with journalism. So guys, this is your opportunity for you to extract as much wisdom from our 2 guests here to explore some of the issues that you're concerned about, etc. We have allowed each university to bring in supporters, my fans from their own university, to give them moral, support as they head out. So they're not just the 3, there are a few more people in the room so that these guys don't feel alone as they carry the mantle for their 4 universities. And for you watching us from home, this is also, you may have some questions about journalism. How do they practice their craft? How do we behave as journalists? What rules guide us in our profession? What happens when we overstep our bounds? What happens when we interact with politicians and sometimes we blur the line between journalism and activism? How do we handle all those kind of issues? When we're speaking to children, how are we supposed to conduct ourselves in terms of interviewing minors, etc.? Those are some of the issues that we'll explore so that we can also let you into our world of journalism. So I'll turn to my panel here. Maybe I'll start with you, Christine, to just give us some of your broad thoughts or issues that you feel will help these guys as they go out into the field. Christine, over to you.
Now, when you're a journalist and you're pursuing a story, there are several things that you need to remember. Again, you're going into the counties. The minute you step out of Nairobi into the counties, you start to say that you're doing a story. They want to understand, what is a story? Are you writing a book? What are you doing? So you need to actually know how you're going to introduce yourself first at the outset. How will you introduce yourself to the people you want to talk to? But then before you even get to that level of going out there, have you mapped your story? What is the story you want to tell? What is the story you want to tell? And who do you want to tell it to? Why do you want to tell that story? Is there anything new about that story that you want to do?
One of the panelists, that is Christine, she mentions whenever you're doing a story, you should always identify the issues that you're facing. That is one thing that I've always struggled with. Having a lot of angles that you're doing in your story towards. And then she mentioned that today you're supposed to focus on one thing. That is one of the main things that stood out for me today.
So think about mapping the story. 2, identify the issues in that story. Also, capture the myths around the subject. And when you capture those myths, you need to debunk them. Your attitude to that subject can very easily cloud how you do the story. Clean out that slate and just go to find out about the topic or the focus that you have picked. Make sure your story has some data of sorts, some evidence that has been verified, some evidence that has been collected, so that you locate it somewhere in some data. We are not just speaking about something out there, something abstract.
Okay, Christine, thank you very much indeed. So You've heard a lot, and I know you're taking notes from what Christine has said. So I've asked them to just share their general tips first, and I'll do the same thing with Professor Jabuga here. And then I'll also ask them to tell us their own personal journalism journey, just very briefly. Especially, I think we learn best from challenges, things that really, sumbued them when they were beginning their career. And then I will open the floor for you to ask your questions. So, yes, but George Nyabuga, so it's your turn. Just share your words of wisdom, and then we'll come back to who you are now as a person.
Oftentimes, and as an editor of a newspaper, of a media group, I was often asked, what is the story in the story that we have? And there are tons of stories that come to the newsrooms every day. So your story has to compete with various other stories. And we've oftentimes told ourselves that journalism must have an impact. So what kind of impact is your story going to have on the different audiences that your story is going to address to, or your story is addressing? So does it appeal, for example, to the people that you are targeting? You have a target audience. So ask yourself, is my story going to appeal to that particular audience that is affected both directly and indirectly? And we've sometimes thrown out some very good stories because they do not adhere to the ethics of stories. This could be, for instance, interviewing very young people without covering their faces. Yes, their voices are compelling, and we oftentimes actually ask journalists to present voices, to present interesting quotes, because that means that the story is able to speak directly to the issues that affect the people, and you're able to capture their voices. But ask yourselves, what are the implications of that kind of interview that you're conducting, for example, with the people that have maybe suffered FGM and the consequences of FGM?
What has stood out for me from what the speakers have been telling us is that how to map up your story, and these are things I know, but the emphasis on it, and yeah, it's they've added knowledge to me how to map up my story, and that the story is not about me, it's about the sources. So this I've taken home, and also the people around. It's just Jovi, and it's really interesting. Yes.
Remember, accuracy is one of the DNAs of journalism. It's actually the DNA of journalism. If you're unable to get accurate information, then it becomes questionable. It's not credible information. It's not reliable information. How credible is your information? How credible are your sources? How authoritative are your sources? And authority here means the ability to understand and present whatever facts, whatever issues that they want to talk about in a way that is understandable, not only to you as a journalist, but information upon which your story would be based. But one of the major things in journalism is to be skeptical. Skepticism is important in journalism. Always be questioning some of those sources. One of the things that you ought to do is to be adequately prepared. And how do you get adequately prepared? Research. And research will not only point out the ideas, but also point you out to the sources, point you out to data that you're looking for to support your story. A story without data is probably a story without legs upon which it will stand.
George, thank you very much indeed. So as I said, just before I come back to you for your questions, I want to go to them briefly, maybe for a couple of minutes each. And what I'm looking for is maybe one single lesson that they've picked up in their lives as journalists, especially when we make a lot of mistakes when we're just starting, and that is what has shaped them. And just in fairness to them, I thought, let me start with my own foolishness so that they have the courage to also share their own foolishness. So one time, this is way back, I think in the early 1990s, we had a man who was called Bishop Alexander Kipsang Arap Muge. Then we wake up one morning and the bishop has died in a road accident. I was on duty that day in the newsroom, and my editor comes in. He's called Mr. Harmony Gambi, a really experienced editor. And he told me, okay, sit down, we have to write this intro. This is how I wrote my intro. The man standing behind me, he had a habit of chewing his pen. and cursing and saying a few things which I can't say on national TV. And so I started writing, and I said, the fiery, outspoken, controversial Bishop of Eldred, Bishop Alexander Kipsang Arap Muge. And before I even finished that sentence, the man just reached for the typewriter, grabbed that paper, tore it up, said, stupid, sit up. He had a bit of a stammer, sit up, foolish boy, stand here. Put up, Bishop Muge is dead, full stop. That is the intro. Oh, he died in a road accident, over to a reporter for details. What is this foolishness out fiery spoken? What is this? Why are you calling Bishop Alexander? Everybody knows who Bishop Muge is. There is only one Pope. When the Pope dies, you don't say Pope Francis John 2, 23rd of... The Pope is dead. There is only one Pope. But since that day, I learned, I can say without any sense of shame or whatever, that I used to write some of the best intros. It is not because I went necessarily to journalism school. It's because of this professor, let me call him that, Harmony Gambi, who taught me the rough way. Cut out the clutter in your writing. And that has been a lesson up to now. When I'm doing any piece of writing, I'm very careful about the clutter that you put in a story. Hey, Bananyabuga, your thoughts on share your foolishness with us.
You know, when we were young, we thought, or when we started, we thought we were the best journalists ever in this town. And it's some sort of exuberance that accompanies, especially young people, when you join the newsroom. And I remember one of the most compelling stories that we ever did, but it only became compelling much later at the Standard, was a story on massage parlors in Nairobi. And there were lots of massage parlors, and I'm sure there are lots of them right now. And if you go in there and try to investigate the issues, they're actually not massage parlors. They are for other things. And we were given lots of money to do the story. And, you know, you go into the massage parlor, someone looking for a massage. And, you know, you get all the offers, of course. You obviously get tempted, but you're there for the story. You go there impersonating a customer. You don't go announcing that you are a journalist. And you can imagine, for over a month or more, we were a team of 3 doing massage parlor stories. You know, it was pleasing, but you know, but at the end of the day, we knew what we wanted. So the emotional attachment, yes, but you know what you're doing. You're out there to do a story, and this is something that you'll encounter in your journey. The essence of journalism is sometimes not to destroy.
Wanasherehekea miaka 20 na wewe. Piga star 444 star 20 asi. Tumia shilingi 20 pekee utunukiwe 20 minutes na 20 MB.
Answer's here. Wow, what a nice gift. I would definitely give this next time.
Cousins Baby Gift Pack, a carefully selected range of safe baby products with natural goodness, trusted for decades by millions of moms across Africa. Cousins Baby, the gift that keeps on giving.
For an exclusive fragrance experience, try Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion with a long-lasting woody fragrance, deep moisture, and a fresh skin feel. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact. Nivea Men, it starts with you.
The wait is over. Check out Jumia Black Fridays for unbeatable deals all month. Shop the biggest sale of the year with up to 80% off. Jumia Black Fridays, even crazier with DTB.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Parenting is all about learning when to be tough and when to be gentle. Tough, gentle. But when it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Tough call. Panadol Baby and Infant. Tough on fever, gentle on your child.
In 2020, when the coronavirus pandemic came, I was very, very worried about my KCC. But thanks to Fly, gave us light system and the radio that we will continue lessons with it. Can see my future being very, very good.
Every spoonful of Nutri comes loaded with the necessary vitamins, protein and minerals for you and your family to become healthier and stronger. Pick up a pack today from your nearest store. Nutri, every spoonful counts.
Okay, guys, so we are open to questions now. We'll make it quite interactive. If you, I'll use the panel and also myself included to answer your questions. On this session, we'll answer all your questions about FGM in general and the best things that you need to know to make the best of your story. Questions, guys?
So my question is, you said something when you're doing a story, you said that you should identify the issues in the story and also that you should have a fresh mind and remove all the attitudes you have. So how do I differentiate with knowing the issues that I'm going to tackle in the story?
Research. If you have read about the subject, you already know the issues that have already been discussed, and you're looking for something new out of the same subject. You know all the little angles that have been handled on it, so you now look for a new approach to the same subject that has been discussed over and over and over.
So some of the biggest stories have come out as a consequence of accidents. Okay, you go to the field, you think this is the story that you want to do, but you get there and discover there's a bigger story in the field. So whilst I know that you're expected to present your ideas prior to going to the field, be very observant. And being observant, being keen, opening your eyes to various things, talking to as many people as possible. You may go to the field thinking that you want, for example, to discover, and we always say, Koinange Street has so many stories. But the best stories come out of the homeless people that sleep on the street because they see everything every night.
I don't think there is a story that has not been told in this world. But there are millions of stories that have not been told differently. So in other words, human experience has not necessarily changed. So one of the things you ask yourself in a story is what we call POV, point of view. Whose point of view am I taking? I think that's what the panel alluded to. That was question one. Mingine?
What is it that you look for in a story? I'll put that into perspective, that after watching the story, what makes you say that this was a good piece? In that, is it the entertainment you're looking for? How entertaining is the story? And by entertainment, I just don't mean that the musical part of it, or I mean, if it's the BBI, I don't mean the nobody can stop reggae. Scary can also be entertaining. Is it the execution, the technical part of it, the shots and the narration itself? Or finally, is it the impact that that story has?
I think, George, you've judged quite a few competitions, and you've also, what are you looking for?
A great story must have impact, must speak directly to the issues that affect people, affect a society. We ask how relevant, for example, is that story to society, because that determines impact. Is it ethical? I mean, is it adhered to ethics? Is it accurate?
Writing for television is very difficult. Difficult because the people you're writing for can see what you're describing. So what is it that you're going to tell us extra apart from what we can already see? So your story can become outstanding because of a blend of impact. It makes me think, it makes me question, it makes me change behavior.
The thing that hit me the most is when you're telling a story, you don't usually see that people put in this much effort to bring that story to life. And bringing a story to life needs you to know that at some point you're going to change your mind on what your result is going to be, or you're going to change your mind on who your story is going to be centered around. And that in itself is just a beautiful thing to watch.
Question number 3.
And the professor was talking about being objective when you're telling your stories, and that you should maintain some sort of authenticity. For example, when you see a dog mauling a child, you take the story first, and then you think about the child dying afterwards. But then again, you said that journalism is humane and we should have a heart, let's just say. So what is the balance that you should think about as a journalist when you're taking such stories? And how do you maintain you being detached from that story and at the same time taking the story the way it's supposed to be taken?
For a long time, we told ourselves that we ought to be completely detached from the issues that we cover, that we focus on the issues without necessarily becoming part of the story. Becoming part of the story is what is actually wrong. For instance, if you're doing TV, that I did this to save this child, do it because you believe in the cause. There are various ways that I look at stories. Sometimes you get engaged because of personal interest, and that may be a covert way. But if you're doing it overtly and telling the audiences, your listeners, or the people that watch or read your story, that you did this, yes, the story, but you also did this as a human being, I don't think you'll be faulted for getting involved in the story, for taking an action that especially saved the life of someone.
You also have a duty of care to your sources in the same way that we protect sources. Question number 4.
When devolution was introduced in the country, there was a rise in brown envelope journalism, whereby people are being bribed to kill stories. Mine was, I wanted you to advise us on how to counter such obstacles when you're working on stories on the field.
There's actually a term for it now. It's called envelopmental journalism. Okay, so I think that one, Christine, because it falls directly in yeah, go ahead.
The quick answer is, it is wrong. It is unprofessional. It is unethical to receive any money for any story. No one should pay you to collect information from them. No one should pay you to interview them. No one should pay you for you to give them a microphone or to give them a platform on the media. The reverse is also wrong. You should not pay for news and information, period. So tell them, thanks for the gesture, but thank you very much, I will not receive it. And take a walk. They will respect you for it because they will know this here is a professional journalist.
If you're bribed, it compromises your integrity.
Question number 5.
Culture are very sensitive, and how do you go about that, especially when it comes to religion, considering that religion, people are kind of skeptical about religion and everything, and does your religion affiliation affect on how well you tell that story?
Christine, anybody? Yeah, okay.
When you belong to a certain community, clan, tribe, etc., country, you belong to a certain religion, which is really what all of us human beings are. But when you go to do your journalistic piece, you need to detach yourself from all of those so that your biases do not influence how you do the story. Your biases do not influence who you even interview for your story, how you even tell the story. So it's one of those, you get some guidelines from the Code of Conduct on how to behave in such a scenario. And the most difficult part you will find is if you are placed in a community you belong to and people know you, and here you are trying to be neutral and independent and not subscribing as normal to what it is that they expect you to subscribe. So it becomes a very tough balance that you have to do to actually be the professional who is neutral.
Okay, and on to our last question, please.
I know we can wax lyrical about passion and exhaust all the inspirational quotes from the face of the earth, but does journalism pay? Literally, because for this couple of times we've been on telly, and appeared on telly a few times, I get randomly, called to, buy a speaker for the church, and I'm told, I don't know, my uncle has been rushed to the hospital, he swallowed a razor blade. So, I mean, does it pay? Is it one of those careers that you embroiled in the bigger name shallow pocket scenario?
Okay. Does journalism pay? I wonder what the panel thinks. George, you have a go.
I think in any profession, if the motivation is money, that may not, you may not achieve that very quickly. You can monetize some of the content that you produce. Think out of the box, think out of, if you're going to be employed, you can create your own content on the side. You can engage in mentoring, maybe young people for pay. I mean, we know that it's a capitalistic world, so sometimes you have to think about yourself.
Journalism does not pay in shillings, dollars, pounds, in currency. But journalism pays in profession. You become a voice to reckon with. You become the quoted person because your stories are well researched, your stories are done and presented in an outstanding manner. I mean, think about John Allan Namu. He may not even be making a lot of money right now, but anybody who wants to have an investigative story done in this country will look for that one name.
I started my career at KBC as a teacher working in Nyeri, commuting at my own expense to come to KBC to read news for free, catch my own matatu back when the weekend is over, finish night shifts, find my own way of paying taxes back home on a teacher salary. So it's actually, I was subsidizing the government of the Republic of Kenya because I was giving them free services from my own meager salary. If I had not done that at KBC for almost 3 years, there would be no KTN. And if there was no KTN, there would be no BBC.
Warungo used to commute all the way from where he was all the way to Nairobi at KBC so that he can do the 1 o'clock news and the weekend news. And it shows the perseverance and the much effort that he was putting up to where he is right now in becoming the brains behind Top Story. And it taught me as a young journalist that everything is possible. Like, it's not a must for you to wanzi uko juu. You can start from where you are right now, the small steps. They'll culminate in the big John Mwangi to there.
So that is the end of this session. So what is your parting shot to them generally, not even on FGM, just generally as a journalist going out into the field to do a very important assignment? What is your last parting shot to this student?
As you go to do your stories, 3 things, just remember these 3 things. Listen and listen and listen. 2, be empathetic and sensitive to the people you are interviewing, to the people you're talking to the story source that you are using. And finally, remain a professional. Do it in a very professional way. Be respectful to those people that you interview.
All your teams, all the teams here have an equal opportunity to win. So you go out there with 100% marks. So it's up to you now to start reducing that mark based on your ideas, the sources that you have, the kind of background information that you have, the amount of research that you've done, and asking yourself, will my story be aired?
My final word from the desk of the principal is that we want you to die for this story. Not die, we take you to a mortuary, but die with this story. Forget about Doha, forget about going to Al Jazeera, forget about everything else, but let this be the story that makes a mark. Let it be an award-winning story in your own heart, even before the audience judge it. No story is worth dying for, so bring both yourself and the story alive so that we put something that will completely transform this nation. Guys, all the best. Remember, the principal is watching. Next week, we get a chance to see the students pitching the stories that they're preparing for on FGM in those 4 counties that they're going to cover, and they will get expert advice from the mentors, and then off they go into the field to have one last chance at winning the top prize, a trip, 1 week fully sponsored trip to Al Jazeera in Doha in Qatar. Good luck to them. Until next week, I'm Joseph Warongo, the principal.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Sumo Premium Candles. It is made of pure, fully refined paraffin wax. It doesn't have smoke. It has long burning hours. It is non-drip. It doesn't smell.
Always smile and walk with Sumo Candle from Rock Industries Limited. For inquiries, visit our offices at Ndume Road off Lungalunga Road, behind Carton Manufacturers near Sinai Stage. You can also talk to us through 0722 575 619.
Hello, Susan. Yes, you. Holding that pack. I know you've been avoiding me